Hey Math 8, today we're going to do the video for the surface area of a cylinder as well as the surface area of a cone. Reminder, as we do surface area, we're also going to be reviewing a little bit of the volume stuff for both, or for every figure, every shape that we do. So just make sure you keep those in mind. All right, so we'll go ahead and jump into it. The nice thing for the surface area of a cylinder is that the formula, if you decide to use it, is the exact same as the formula for a rectangular prism. We have 2 times the area of the base. For a cylinder, that's always going to be the circle. Okay, that will always be our base, so find the area of that, which again is right here, right? Whoop. Right here, pi r squared. So we have two times the base and then plus the perimeter. And then perimeter for a cylinder is, once again, you're looking for the perimeter of the base. So that's just going to be the circumference. Okay. All right, and then h is still going to be your height, which you see right here. Okay, so that's our formula for a cylinder. And if you're going to do the net, or just use something other than the formula to find the surface area, this is what the net looks like, right? So we have well, first of all, we have the 2 circles, which we find the area of using the radius and having pi r squared. Okay, and then we also have the height. And then this distance is the circumference, all right, of the circle. And then, so in order to find the area of that shape, we would just do h times c, the height times the circumference. That'll give us the area of that one, and we'll add them all together, right? So we add the circle times 2, and the area of the I guess this part, I don't know what to call it really, the height times the circumference, and there's just one of those, and then you just add those together, you get the surface area of a cylinder. All right, just as a reminder, the volume of a cylinder is going to be pi r squared times the height. So we have the area of the cylinder, or the circle, excuse me, and then times that height. And that is it for finding the volumes. The volume's a little bit easier than surface area, but yeah, that's how you do both of those. All right, so if we look at example 1, we have this cylinder right here, okay? And remember, surface area, if I use the formula, again, you weren't required to, but if I decide to, we've got 2b plus p times h, all right? So for the base, we have pi r squared, which is going to be pi times 2 squared. Okay, and then the perimeter is going to be 2 pi r is circumference, as a reminder. Okay, so instead of r, we'll just put in 2. So that will be 2 times pi times 2. Or you can write it as just 4 pi, right? Pi times the diameter, which is what I'm going to have here. And then times the height, which is going to be 7. Okay, now you want to go ahead and plug this all into your calculator. And actually, guys, if you want, you can go ahead and simplify it to here, what I've got. And then we can actually keep going. All right, so we have 8 pi plus 28 pi. And then you can even add those together. So we will have 28 plus 8, which is 36 pi. All right. Okay, and then once you do that, you can go ahead and plug that into your calculator. I'm going to do that real quick as well. So I have 36 times, I'm just going to use 3.14, and that's going to give me about 113.04. They got 113.1 using the pi button. But you can see those are very similar. And then again, just as a reminder, whenever we find surface area, we're finding an area, so we want it to be meters squared. All right, and that is it for that example. Okay, so go ahead and try out on your own. I'm going to have you do got it problem B. Once you're done with that, we will go ahead and move on from here. All right, so once you're done with that got it problem, we're actually going to move on to the surface area of cones. Okay, so cones are actually nice for surface area because you have the same formula as the surface area of a pyramid, okay, where we have B, or the area of the base, plus 1/2 the perimeter of the base times the slant height, okay? And just as a reminder, for the volume of a cone, it's the same as a cylinder, so we have pi r squared times the height, but then you also divide it by 3. Okay, so just as a reminder, so that you do not forget, that is our formula, and it should be on your resource sheet as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this example 2. I'm going to go ahead and erase this for now. If you need to write that down, you can rewind and get back to it. But for number 2, it says find the surface area of the cone, round to the nearest tenth. We won't worry about the rounding so much. We're just going to look at this right here. Okay, so the surface area, again, I'm going to use the formula, and again, you are not required to think of the formula. I think for this one, it's probably best to look at the formula, but it's totally up to you how you want to go about that. So we've got surface area equals B plus 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height. All right. So yeah. Oh, before I do this, I forgot to mention this is the net, right? So this distance right here is the circumference of the circle right here. Okay, and then this would be our height right there. Okay. So this is kind of why I prefer to use the formula for this one, because this is a weird shape to try to find the area of without the formula. All right. So anyway, we'll get right back into it. We have, there we go, zoomed in too far. Sorry about that. Surface area equals area of the base. Okay, that's going to be made up by pi r squared. R is 6 for this one. Okay, and then we have plus 1/2. The perimeter is going to be, the perimeter, remember, is 2 pi r. So for this one, that would be 2 times pi times the radius, which is 6. Okay, and then times the lateral height, or the slant height, which is 6.2. Okay, and you can see that right here. That would be this distance. That's our slant height. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify from there. So I'm going to have surface area equals pi times 6 squared. 6 squared is 36. So I'm going to rearrange that to be 36 and then pi. So our pi just drags down. We just switched them is all I did there. And then we've got 1/2 times 2 pi times 6 is the same thing as 12 pi. And then times 6.2. Okay. And then from here, I'll have 36 pi. I'm going to simplify a bit further. So 1/2 of 12 pi would be 6 pi. And then times 6.2. Now at this point, I need to plug into my calculator. All right, so I'm going to do 6 times 3.14 for pi, get 18.84, and then multiply that by 6.2. Okay, so I multiplied all three of these together. I got 116.81 approximately. Okay, and then that has to be added to 36 pi, and I'm going to go ahead and do that right now as well. So 36 times 3.14 is 113.4 or 0.04. Okay, and now our last step is just to add those two together. And I type that in, I get 229.85, and that's going to be inches. And again, surface area is inches squared. All right, and that is it for solving the surface area of a cone. Okay, all right, I want you to go ahead and do got it problem C. All right, So go ahead and pause the video and do that right now. And then after that, that is going to be it for this video. Tomorrow we will get to the surface area of spheres, and we will also look at the surface area of composite solids like this one. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I'll go back up here just so you can see it for the got it problem. And then, yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys in class.